Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. As Des Macdonald said in opening for Labour, our approach is that we want to see rail links strengthened within as well as between Scotland's city regions, and Aberdeen Crossrail is very firmly part of that. The SNP's approach is less clear. On the one hand, as we have heard, the Minister wants us to welcome the opening of Lawrence Kirk Station and the bringing forward of work in Kintore Station. On the other hand, he wants us to agree that the introduction of additional stops increases journey times and can, in certain circumstances, reduce the viability of services overall. Well, in terms of setting out a direction of travel, that does seem confused. But when ministers talk of the Aberdeen Crossrail project being tackled incrementally, the inference must be that these increments are not to be additional stops, no more new stations beside those already mentioned. That would certainly explain why Aberdeen Crossrail, like the Hodigan roundabout, failed to win ministerial support for inclusion in the Strategic Transport Projects Review. And indeed, this morning it seemed that in describing his plans, the Minister sees Aberdeen simply as the junction of two main railway lines, rather than the focus for a city-focused Crossrail project to serve the specific needs of people who live and work in Aberdeen. Stuart Stevenson recently received the finalised Aberdeen City and Shire Structure Plan. I am sure he will have already cast his eye upon it. That plan, at paragraph 3.9 on page 10, explicitly promotes the Crossrail proposals to provide more regular journeys and extra stations. SNP councillors voted for that, and there is no mention whatsoever of an incremental approach. I hope that that aspect of this plan attracts the Minister's approval and that he will then rethink his approach to the Crossrail proposals. Instead of cutting back our ambitions for Crossrail, we should be looking at what more can be done. In my own constituency of Aberdeen Central, a new station at Kitty Brewster could help cut back on car commuting, on congestion, on parking problems at key locations. Take Aberdeen Royal Infirmary, for example, overwhelmed in recent months by a parking crisis since SNP ministers decreed an end to hospital parking charges without first working out how else to manage parking demand. Or take Aberdeen University, developing an iconic new library in Old Aberdeen, which will attract users from right across the region and beyond, and where parking zones are already being planned for neighbouring areas as a result. Both Forester Hill and Old Aberdeen would benefit from new access by rail via a new Kitty Brewster station. Aberdeen Crossrail, as originally conceived, has the potential to deliver that. No guarantee, but it has the potential because it is designed as an integral scheme for the whole city and region. But a government which has set its face against additional stops and insists on taking what it describes as an incremental approach which does not recognise the wholeness of the city will not deliver that. But what those parts of the city that I represent do not need is a new road and bridge increasing traffic by way of the proposed Third Dawn crossing. And I hope the Minister will reject that part of the finalised structure plan when he comes to form a view, and he will support more rail, not more roads, into the city. And it is to the credit of Alison McInnes, when she was chair of Nestrons, that she did not endorse the enthusiasm of her party colleagues in the City Council for directing thousands of car commuters every day through Tillydrone and Old Aberdeen. Sadly, however, those same councillors have now done Aberdeen City and Shire a major disservice by including that contentious local project in strategic transport and structure plans for the region. The Minister could put that right by refusing to endorse the Third Dawn crossing proposal in the structure plan. He should encourage local partners to work instead with the Scottish Government on sorting out the Hodigan roundabout, exploring how Aberdeen Crossrail can be delivered. Those are the real transport priorities for the city, along with the completion of the WPR, and they are the projects which ministers should also support.